I saw also that there was an ocean of darkness and death, but an infinite ocean of light and love, which flowed over the ocean of darkness. In that also I saw the infinite love of God, and I had great openings. I saw into that which was without end, things which cannot be uttered, and of greatness and infinitude of the love of God, which cannot be expressed by words. For I had been brought through the very ocean of darkness and death, and through and over the power of Satan, by the eternal glorious power of Christ. Even through that darkness was I brought, which covered over all the world, and which chained down all and shut up all in death. The same eternal power of God, which brought me through these things, was that which afterwards shook the nations, priests, professors, and people.
Welcome to my video channel and this short documentary on George Fox, founder of the Quakers. I trust that this will be of edification to your soul and truly something that will encourage you in your Christian walk. George Fox was born in the month called July of 1624 at Drayton in the Clay in Leicestershire. And he goes on to say from his journal, "My father's name was Christopher Fox. He was by profession a weaver, an honest man, and there was a seed of God in him. The neighbours called him Righteous Christer. My mother was an upright woman. Her maiden name was Mary Lago, of the family of the Lagos, of the stock of the martyrs. In my very young years I had a gravity and staidness of mind and spirit not usual in children, insomuch that when I saw old men behave lightly and wantonly towards each other, I had a dislike thereof raised in my heart, and said within myself, if ever I come to be a man, surely I shall not do so, nor be so wanton. When I came to 11 years of age, I knew pureness and righteousness, for while a child I was taught how to walk, to be kept pure. The Lord taught me to be faithful in all things, and to act faithfully 2 ways, inwardly to God and outwardly to man, and to keep to yea and nay in all things. For the Lord showed me that, though the people of the world have mouths full of deceit and changeable frauds, yet I was to keep to yea and nay in all things, and that my words should lie few and savoury, seasoned with grace, and that I might not eat and drink to make myself wanton, but for health, using the creatures in their service, as servants in their places, to the glory of him that created them. As I grew up, my relations thought to have me made a priest, but others persuaded to the contrary, whereupon I was put to a man who was a shoemaker by trade, and dealt in wool. He also used grazing and sold cattle, and a great deal went through my hands. While I was with him, he was blessed, but after I left him, he broke and came to nothing. I never wronged man nor woman in all that time, for the Lord's power was with me and over me to preserve me. While I was in that service, I used in my dealings the word verily, and it was a common saying among those that knew me, if George says verily, there is no altering him. When boys and rude persons would laugh at me, I let them alone and went my way. But people had generally a love to me for my innocency and honesty. When I came towards 19 years of age, being upon business at a fair, one of my cousins, whose name was Bradford, having another professed with him, came and asked me to drink part of a jug of beer with them, and I, being thirsty, went in with them, for I loved any who had a sense of good or that sought after the Lord. When we had drunk a glass apiece, they began to drink healths and called for more drink, agreeing together that he that would not drink should pay all. I was grieved that any who made profession of religion should offer to do so. They grieved me very much, having never had such a thing put to me before by any sort of people. Whereof I rose up, and putting my hand in my pocket, took out a groat, and laid it upon the table before them, saying, If it be so, I will leave you.
Thus the work of the Lord went forward, and many were turned from darkness to light, within the compass of these 3 years, 1646, 1647, and 1648. Diverse meetings of friends in several places were then gathered to God's teaching by his light, spirit, and power. For the Lord's power broke forth more and more wonderfully. Now I was come up in spirit, through the flaming sword, into the paradise of God. All things were new, and all the creation gave unto me another smell than before, beyond what words can utter. I knew nothing but pureness and innocency and righteousness, being renewed into the image of God by Christ Jesus, to the state of Adam, which he was in before he fell. The creation was open to me, and it was shown me how all things had their names given them, according to their nature and virtue.